And we move on with the Brussels-based New European Business Federation, which is organizing, advocating the interests of entrepreneurs and migrant backgrounds. It represents 15,000 entrepreneurs and business professionals across 24 European countries from all around the major sectors of the European economy. And I have the pleasure to welcome here Mr. Adem Kumcu, sorry, Mr. Adem, here, the president of the organization. Please.
Plamen, thank you very much for this invitation. My name is Adem Kumcu, by the way. Thank you. Yes, it's difficult to pronounce strangers' names, but we need all these strangers. We need them to boost our economies. We need them to open the gates to something new. This is not my first visit to Sofia. My first visit was already in 1974. I'm a Dutch citizen of Turkish background, and for the first time, when I was 9 years old, I moved to France through Sofia, and 15 times I had to go back to my country of origin, and I know what kind of transformation Sofia has made. It's amazing. Seeing Sofia of 42 years ago and imagining what has happened is impossible. The only reason behind this transformation is the openness of minds of people. It's opening your borders, which makes transformation possible. I lived in France nearby Lyon, and you know, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry lived in Lyon. I will cite him. And now, here is my secret, a very simple secret. It's only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eyes. I think if we are not able to open our hearts, our minds, our borders, transformation in the positive sense will not be possible. Opening the gates of Europe, but the real gates of Europe, will be the only solution to all our problems. I will not talk about problems, but I will talk about the challenges. You know, Europe is a place of paradoxes. You know all about the European innovation paradox. Fact that our universities are producing fantastic articles, but we are not able to translate them in economic power. We also have an immigration paradox. We need immigrants more than ever, but we are constructing Fortress Europe. We also have a third paradox, in my view, which is a key to understand the competitiveness of the European economies. We need to solve the problem and the paradox of inclusion. We may have hundreds of different nationalities somewhere, but if we are not able to bring them together, to make them think together, to make them create together, then you will not solve your economic problem. Let's start. Why do we need immigrants? We need them. It's not a question of morality, of helping refugees. It's not a question of helping countries developing themselves. Even mass immigration has an excellent impact on European economies. But the only thing we need to understand is that fear is the only thing we need to fear. And unfortunately, in Europe, we fear immigration, we fear immigrants. We need them because the average age in Europe today is 42. In Bulgaria, even in Bulgaria, the average age is 42.6. In 2040, the average age in Europe will be 52, friends. We need young people, we need colorful people to make Europe a successful place to be, a happy place to be. Skills mismatch on the labor market is another problem we have. We have a high rate of unemployment combined with high amount of unfilled vacancies. In the IT sector, we will need by 2020 825,000 people, 1 million in the health sector, and in total, all the sectors, 18 million people will be needed in order to keep our competitiveness. We also need more entrepreneurs because the lack of entrepreneurial and risk-taking behavior is now killing Europe. 2 million entrepreneurs in Europe cannot retire, people. They cannot retire, my friends, for one reason. There is not a young generation of entrepreneurs ready to take over these businesses. Do you know what it means to lose 2 million companies in such a context? You understand what I mean. We need to take more risks because there is also a lack of venture capital and risk capital in Europe. I think the growing global competition for markets, ideas, investors, highly skilled talents is important to understand if we want European cities to become successful in the near future. Now, what's the solution? The solution is simple, but you know, simple but not simplistic. The highest level of perfection is simplicity. First, we need to understand that the fundamental characteristics of cities is their mixitude. Migration has become normality, and diversity is the standard. Diversity is a fact and is indeed here to stay. The more a city is able to appeal to the best talents from abroad, the more competitive it will get. Innovation takes place in environments that attract talent, create networks, and develop communities. In the new economy, it's not about building material infrastructures. It's about building infrastructures, social infrastructures, cultural norms such as openness to strangers, diversity in talents and insights, empathy with outsides, and collaborative risk-taking will be the strategic assets of successful cities. We need a fundamental mentality change. We all know that it is extremely difficult to change our perception of the world. It's also extremely difficult to change our attitudes or our habits. But we need a paradigm shift. We need to go from a deficit model of immigration to what I call the dividend of diversity. Diversity is absolutely not a threat. On the contrary, diversity is a fantastic opportunity, good for creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We need to celebrate diversity. We need to break the walls and brand our cities. I would like to thank Plemen to invite me here. I do not know how he found me. It's still a secret to me. But Sofia, in my view, is the rose of the Balkan. And I'm sincere in it for one very important reason. How many of you knows that in Bulgaria there is a valley called the Rose Valley? 125 years ago, some Bulgarian immigrants went to Turkey, to a place called Isparta. They brought there their knowledge of rose oil, rose essence, the very basic of cosmetics in the current economy. These few people have enriched my city, my birth city. It has now become a billion-dollar business. Few Bulgarian immigrants 125 years ago. 5 million Turkish immigrants in Europe have built 160,000 companies, giving jobs to 1 million people, 60 billion annual turnover. Are we talking about diversity as a danger or as a potential? I invite all the European cities to welcome people, to welcome diverse insights, to welcome really, and to include them. Only inclusive cities are able to create this strategic power of competitiveness on a global economy. We need to make these people family of our cities. Yes, the president of Bulgaria was right when he offered you and he asked you to become member of your family. I think all cities need the same attitude, inviting newcomers to become family of the city, becoming ambassadors of the city. You know, it's easy to brand your city. Look at the number of immigrants actively working in your city. Engage them by giving them a real dignity and citizenship. I am a fanatic of the European Union, not because of my blood, but because I adhere to the European values. And I am, from today, a fanatic of Sofia. I will be an ambassador of Sofia. Thank you very much.
Amazing speech. Çok teşekkürler, Mr. Adem.
Thank you.